Johnson's was still on like his was on like the older style of tartan, not the Mondo, but yeah, still on tartan track. He used to get around. Did you see these? At Atlanta, he had the pure gold spikes. Do you remember those?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in trouble for doping or whatever?
No, Johnson's always
Ben?
Ben Johnson. Yeah, he's like the pin-up boy of
Was he? Yeah.
in athletics.
I remember those races. So Michael Johnson.
Have you seen the sports bet ads or whatever with Yeah, you gotta have a look.
Really?
Yeah,
Let's have a look now.
Yeah.
Can we?
Can we?
No, we can't. Aaron, where's that monitor we haven't set up yet?
Oh well, we'll have a look later.
Yeah, they sort of
good?
they take the mickey out, but he's like in it and he sort of
is he?
He's playing along.
Cool.
He's sort of embraced it now.
They're good.
That is good, isn't it?
I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, well, such a big superstar.
If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
Who told me today that? Have you heard this one in the Winter Olympics right now? This is someone else's story.
Yep.
Could be completely wrong. It's a snowboarder in the half pipe. She, her way of getting into the Winter Olympics was she's from some certain nationality. She couldn't get in that nationality, or she had a chance with her mother's nationality, couldn't get in, but her grandparents were Hungarian.
Yeah, right.
So she joined the Hungarian sort of crew, and all she had to do was finish 30th or better in 3 world events. Well, she joined 3 world events, and every single world event, a couple of the hotshots crashed out or didn't pull up. So she actually qualified for Hungary, and she actually did her event today, and she wasn't even doing airs. She's like the Eddie the Eagle.
Eric the Eel.
She was like just like riding a snowboard in a half pipe without doing any tricks at all. That's a legend.
What a legend, yeah.
She'll be doing like
I love
Bet
those
365
sort of
ad.
Yeah.
It's like, is it smooth running?
Cool Running.
Cool Running.
Yeah.
Like that's an awesome story, isn't it?
What a great movie.
Yeah.
What a great movie. I like literally the first day that the Winter Olympics came on, all I could think about was I've got to get Cool Runnings out and have a look again. And, Sanko, where's your egg, man, or whatever it is, and Lucky Egg. And
So you're a good speaker. The thing with you've already got a career. So when we were talking to Brandon last week, there's the conversation was kind of like, well, he was young, 24.
24.
Yep.
And he'd put a lot of life into, only 2 years.
Yep.
That's the sweet story about him. He's like, wow, all of a sudden he's in the game,
killing it,
but he had to really, you have to train every single day, just like you.
Yep.
You know, and all your recoveries and everything. Well, we're going to be saying your name. Everyone's going to be cheering for you. We're going to cross now, and then we're going to talk about what happened today on the track and the Gold Coasters. And yeah. And then you've got a good job to fall back on, which is even in your field. So that's kind of still cool.
Yeah, like absolutely.
But you're still a good speaker. You know, you can.
Thank you.
There's a
might be some other options you reckon to doing a bit of teaching.
Yeah,
it would be interesting. I think. Like
commentator for the next Commonwealth Games.
Or even
2020.
running
so that's Tokyo,
the big PT, something like that. Like you can run your own, not even maybe even need that sort of thing, but that's
there's definitely some. I mean, I think like the two sort of areas I'm coming from and the passions that I have in where I've been has been in that sort of like the sort of teaching environment, and I love being able to pass on some skills and that combined with the athletics thing, I don't know. Yeah, have to see.
Yeah,
where it
let's
all
not even
goes.
talk about that. Yeah, why do I go that?
Can we wait? Because we asked Brandon. So I am actually going to, because I don't really like watching sport on television unless I know someone. So I'm going to watch Brandon because I remember that he's going to be on the 6th of April at 2 p.m.
Yep.
We don't know what channel yet.
Okay.
But I'm sure I'll find out which channel it's on. Do you know what time you're?
I think we're on the 14th. Yeah,
14th.
And we'll be in the night session of the athletics. So yeah.
What does that mean? Do I have to stay up late?
Or probably I don't know what time's your bedtime usually. Probably like 8:30 or something.
But I'm up with the
tequilas have you
birds. Yeah, it depends on how many tequilas.
Yeah.
So the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, 14th
At night.
Yeah, night
That's
session.
when the track events are on.
Yeah.
Hey, have you ever raced at night?
That's thing. Yeah, we raced all like our nationals we had our final at 8:30 on Saturday night.
Okay.
So yeah, they tend to make us race a little bit later on.
But nighttime is probably like
better,
cooler, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the good thing about night is the wind tends to drop off a little bit. So so we tend to like some pretty still conditions in the 400.
Yeah.
So they tend to put us on a little bit later. So you're not running into as sort of heftier winds either way.
Yeah.
Hey, can you show us right now how you do a start? But don't actually launch. I don't want to be responsible for that. But
do you need the things like the little?
And pull it out.
I can do one without one. I can do one without.
I don't know if you want the lights on there for a couple of shots, MattG, but I really want to see, have they refined it for your own body's shape, or do they? Is there a certain stance that everyone sort of has gone to?
Oh, there's a pretty much.
Let the 100-meter 9-second girl.
Yeah, I feel like I could probably land it. Maybe I should.
Can you stand behind Rika and teach her what you do in the old 80s movies, like the golfing thing?
I might need to get some lessons before I go.
Yeah.
I used to because I think we used to, but we didn't have like the bits, the little. I know
the blocks.
Are they called blocks?
The blocks, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
The blocks, yeah.
Come on, man.
But they're not Lego. They're not.
No, it's only the back foot, isn't it? No.
No, there's two. Yeah, no.
There are two.
You push off the two. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's such as you do this, right?
Can you explain what the difference is between having those and not having them?
Yeah, so just so you push, if you don't have them, when you're pushing out, you're trying to clear the block. So if you imagine that you're pushing from a squat position and you're trying to push and jump, if your feet aren't in contact with the ground, or then obviously, or the more that your feet are in contact with the ground, and the more that you're getting your body into a position where you can sort of get to, it's going to get technical, but it's called triple extension. The more that you can sort of create vertical or horizontal force. So the blocks simply help us to get in a position to create triple extension through the hips and the legs, so that we can clear the blocks and then start in our...
Right, so there's no backward movement at all of your...
Yeah, so it's all in that...
Cool.
All in that sort of, position where you're trying to get through the track and grind it out.
It's got to be...
It's pretty ugly to start. One of the cues is just get down and dirty sort of thing.
Yeah, but still, how critical.
Yeah. And the hardest thing is one of the hardest things though is that your foot position when you're driving out. We actually try and create what we call negative foot speed. So when we're out to get force going forward. Again, like a little bit of physics, like Newton's, force opposites of forces. We have to push back through the tracks that we propel forward. So what the biggest mistake when people are learning is they want to get down the track as quickly as they can, but if they put their leg out in front of them, they actually push themselves backwards. So we've got to get in that position where we, drive out with the leg and it comes back under our hips sort of thing.
Yeah.
So.
But wait, before you show us, one more question. Have you ever, because I used to swim and before the bang goes off, is it still a bang these days?
It depends what track you're at, but it can be an electronic one. It can be, still the old sort of gun and smoke.
Yeah, well, because you're in your position, right? I won't do my, but you're in your position and you're waiting for that bang to go off.
Yep.
But then
the false start.
Yes. Yeah. Have you ever done
it's
this?
Brutal. And so we've got all the senior athletics is under no false start rule. So you break, you're gone. But it's pretty
that's so much pressure on. as well,
huge,
isn't
hey,
it? Yeah.
and especially probably a little bit less so the 400 guys. We have to get out pretty well, but the 100 guys, it's just
I've got the answer for you.
Yes.
What is
right,
it?
Ayrton Senna, the great Formula One car driver.
Yep.
Okay, taught me something on a video. Ayrton Senna.
Whoa,
and
that's so bad.
Practice this at the lights tomorrow.
Yep.
I don't even want to release this so no one else knows. He would do his one lap, so it's like a minute and whatever at certain tracks, holding your breath. Because we all know that when you hold your breath, the only thing most important is the trigger to tell you to breathe again. Right?
Yep.
So when back in the day, I used to race cars, and I do it all the time. So the only thing, and it's sort of like a meditation.
Zone thing.
Blocks everything out.
Yeah.
All you're doing is getting around that track thing. So if you're at the lights tomorrow, hold your breath when it's red and just look at that green. I guarantee you will see levels of green. Like the green, the green
transition.
You'll see it.
The transition to the green, the in between.
Kid you not.
Yeah,
that's my gift to you.
But well, it's from Ayrton Senna.
Yeah,
he's a legend.
Absolute legend.
And that's what it is. Like blocking out all the other things, blocking out your thoughts. What's the most important thing is to hear that bang,
bang. So the technology. So now, when we get to false starts and improving, if there's false starts now. So because obviously at the highest level, like. You know, if people false start, they want proof that they've false started, not just like, I think you moved. So in the blocks now, we actually have electronic timing reaction pads, and there's an official. I'm not a 100-meter run, so I don't know the official, but there's like a time that if you're within that time, it's your foot has moved away from the pad, then they can say for certain you have false started.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Imagine what they did to get to that.
Yeah.
All those false starts, all those cheats for all those years.
Well, because false starts used to just be whether you went over that line.
That's it. And what used to happen is they actually before there was a no false start rule, when it used to be like the false start where the field could anyone could false start, and then if someone false started next, then they were out. People used it as a gamesmanship thing because, so for instance, if you had an ultimate starter that you were up against and you knew that that if they nailed the start, they win, people would just deliberately false start so that they, that they,
put everyone off.
Ruin their game.
So ruin their game, and so there was all this gamesmanship about it. It was sort of cool, but it's probably better it's a no false start.
Sure.
Now. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
All right, mate. Let's see it.
All right, let's see it.
Don't do anything crazy, okay? Just give us.
I'll give you so the tutorial. This is how you can. So if you ever want to do it yourself. So.
All right, I'm going to run you through it so people hear it on the mic. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Can we record it? Can we record it and put it up later?
Have we got? My phone's in the car. Have you got one, Aaron? Yeah. Yeah.
So this is like.
Hang on, hold on, champ. We'll get.
This is our starting line. All right. This is our starting.
Is our starting line? Nice. He's showing the starting line.
So if you want to teach someone how to box up from the starting line, you go.
Yep.
2 feet back.
Okay, 2 feet back.
That'll be where your front foot is positioned, and then from the front foot, you just go a further foot back to where your back foot is. So you go from there, you're down in position, and you've basically got hands are in that sort of C position on the line. So you've got weight now through the 4 points. So 4 points of weight, 2 through the feet, 2 through the hands, and then from here, we sort of rise into that set position, and in that set position, what you're trying to create is those angles of your legs where they can, what we talked about, creating that triple extension, and then from here, all we think about is just throwing this hand in the air, and then from that, again, just opposite sort of happens. So as this hand sort of falls forward, this hand goes back, and we sort of explode forward.
So what's
So that first hand movement is very important.
You know, when you talk about the lights, that's it. It's just that bang. As soon as we hear that gun, you just throw that hand in the air, and
I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
So
Get back on this light.
Yeah, but is there a on your mark, get set, go? Like, because remember when
Riders ready, pedal set.
You might be too young. But when I ran 100 meters in 9 seconds, which never happened, by the way.
We were all still so convinced.
No, because I'm pretty sure there was like, on your marks, get set, and that's when you lifted your ass.
Yeah.
And then it was bang.
And then bang, go. Yeah.
Is that still the same?
That's the way. Yeah, they haven't changed that part of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do they have a certain way that they have to say it? Is there no extra pauses like...
It takes, like what you see at the senior level is that it takes an awful amount of a long amount of time, because the gamesmanship part now is the move. Like, so when they say on your marks, people will take an eternity, because they can't say set until everyone's completely still. So you'll see guys sort of half get down, and they'll shake their arms out, or they'll
so
move
they're still
their
trying
head.
to upset.
They'll move their head about.
That's the new false start.
That's the new false start, like just trying to drag out the time, and then when everyone's dead still,
so they can still have their hand position and everything, but if their body's still like, you're not ready.
Yeah, and if it goes on ridiculously long, the starter will say, "Stand up, please," and then they'll do it again. But if they're in that sort of 30 seconds, sort of 45-second mark, then they'll say set. And again, then when you say set, people will rise as slow. Some of them will rise as slow as they can. So they're the last one, right? Like so, they're thinking.
So there's a set,
Yeah, and then the weight, and then everyone's got to be still at the top of set and then go again.
Because that's not a comfortable position to hold either, is it? Yeah.
Oh, that must be forever.
Yeah.
Do you ever go, come on, mother?
Yeah. Let's just get this thing done.
Yeah, because you might be feeling great and you're set, you're there, and then all of a sudden you're like, hang on a minute, I feel pretty awkward.